What's up, Pirates? Wraith and Jim here with OPTCG, and today, well, before we get into today's video, I'm in Peoria right now, and so I'm recording this video from there, so if my mic sounds a little off, I just want to go ahead and warn you guys right now. But we're going to be going over all the black cards, the new ones that are out with OP08, and in specific, we're going to go over the new King Leader that is black and purple.
Yep, so as with all the other leaders, we have gone over this leader before in a previous video. I even made a specific video for this leader because I was very excited to play him. But let's go over the effect again because this leader actually is going to be the main leader that all these cards are made for. So he's going to be an activate main once per turn. You can do Dawn -2 and then choose one of two effects. If you have 5 or less cards in hand, you can draw one. Or you can reduce the cost by 2 of one of your opponent's characters for the turn. So pretty much versatile effect that you really only want to use when you get to 10 Dawn. However, I think it's just strong enough paired with the fact that Beast Pirates has access to a lot of strong stuff like Onigashima. I think this leader has a really good chance to be really strong in this meta.
Yeah, I mean, it has that flexibility, right? Late game, whether you want to use that double the cost of one of your opponent's characters during this turn or draw a card, it's going to have some nasty stuff.
Yep, and we actually now do have the alt arts on the website now, and I'm just going to say the ones this set look absolutely fantastic. This one in particular looks really good. Getting into our first card here, we have Ulti, is a 4/6 vanilla with the Beast Pirates type. This one really wouldn't be worth talking about, but there is a card that combos with this card, so we're actually going to talk about that one. So let's go ahead over here and look at the new page 1. Page 1 is going to be a 5/5 with 1,000 counter and the Beast Pirates type. It's going to read on play. You can play up to 1 ulti with a cost of 4 or less from your trash. So from your trash is obviously better than from your hand. You do not lose extra hand advantage, and you have a lot more options to choose from. Whereas if you used, say, ulti as a counter earlier in the game, you can play her out. And now we have a 4/5 Dawn, a 5/5, and a 4/6. Obviously, this is very similar to the purple combination. This one probably not as good because it is 4/5, but that's until you realize this does not specify color. So this page 1 here can actually play the 4-cost purple ulti, which in turn can play the 4-cost vanilla page 1. So for 5 Dawn, we can get a 5/5, a 4/5, and a 4/6, which sounds pretty decent. However, I don't know if it'll be ran in King specifically.
Yeah, definitely probably some tech for another leader for sure. But that is a crazy combo. Like being able to swing the board 3 bodies like that for 5 Dawn seems pretty good.
Yeah, I think playing from trash is just really strong. And next up here, we've got Kaido himself. Is a 9-cost, 9,000 power with the former Rocks Pirates and the Beast Pirates type. This one is going to be activate May once per turn. You can discard 1 card from your hand. And if it is the turn this card was played, you can place one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less into their trash. And then afterwards, your opponent's going to discard 1 card from their hand. So this is very similar to a lot of black removal in the fact that, in order to do its effect, you have to discard a card from hand. But this one, let me tell you right now, is so much better. Obviously, hitting 7 costs is really good. In black, now we only need -3 costs, and that's everything in the game. It is not KO. It is a straight to trash, which means we get around Sabo Blocker and Black Yellow Luffy. We get around Borsalinos. Anything that can't be KO'd, this card does not care whatsoever. And then afterwards, on top of that, you just force them to discard an extra card out of their hand. This card is really, really strong.
Yeah, no, that momentum swing is going to be busted. You get +1 on board, they get -1, and the trash you card can be a brick. Maybe they're low in card size already, and they don't have much hand left, and then you're forcing them to trash on top of that. This card is definitely going to be a menace.
Yeah, love this card, and flexible in many different decks. Like, I'm going to be a Black Lucci player, and I would 100% play this card. And the alt art here looks absolutely stunning. Love this card. Next up here, we've got Queen. Queen is going to be our 1/2 1,000 counter Beast Pirates Searcher. So it's going to be on play, the standard, look at top 5. Reveal 1 Beast Pirates other than Queen, add it to your hand, rest at the bottom. I would usually not have much to talk about as far as searchers go. Like, if you're running the archetype, you're running the searcher, obviously. That's like a no-brainer. This one, though, is a little interesting. Because they made it Queen, now we can't search the 5-6 started at Queen, which, every purple deck usually wants to run, which kind of sucks. But I still think you'd run this. You could instead run the 1-cost event that searches for Big Mom Pirates and Beast Pirates, but obviously... no counter, no body. You do have a trigger, but obviously you usually want to play the character searcher over that.
Yeah, it'll depend how flexible the deck is. Maybe you can run all 8, but
Yeah,
cause like some decks have 8 searchers, but we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm glad it has a body that's searchable now.
for sure. And the alt art for this card as well looks absolutely fantastic. Next up here, we've got Guernica is a 1/2 with 1,000 counter and the CP0 type. This one's going to be when attacking, you can place 3 cards with the CP type from the trash to the bottom of your deck, and then KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 0. So these when attacking effects are already usually really bad. This one's stuck to a 0, and it's on a 1/2. So the attacks aren't even really going to do much. It's probably going to get removed before it even attacks anyway. This card is pretty terrible.
Yeah, very trash.
Filler card this set for sure. Next up here, we've got Sasaki. Is a 1/1 2K counter with a Beast Pirates type. So we have a new searchable 2K counter. This is going to be activate main. You can put one of your cards. You can actually rest this card and then rest up to one of your Dawn cards. So this is basically, I don't know why it's worded like that. A lot of the times when, it's going to have that effect, it's just going to have the little circle with the 1 in it. But for some reason they worded it like that this time, and it's going to be up to one of your opponent's characters is going to have a -2 cost for the turn. So you can almost think of this like a Beast Pirate Suru. Obviously it costs 1 more. For the caveat that now the effect is repeatable if they don't remove it. So yeah, I think just a no-brainer 2K that we're gonna run.
Yeah, 100%. Searchable.
Yeah, searchable is the key. Next up here, we've got Sheepshed is a 2/3 with 1,000 counter and the Beast Pirates and Smile type. It's going to be Dawn X1 during your turn. You can reduce the cost of all your opponent's characters by 1. I think we're a little bit more focused on single target KOs. So especially weak bodies like this, this just isn't going to work for us, unfortunately.
Yeah, 2/3. Well, that's a 1K. That's that line. Effect is very bad. I don't think you run this.
Yeah. Next up here, we've got Jack. Jack is another SR for the Beast Pirates type. This one's going to be a 7/8 with no counter. It's going to read this character has +4 cost. So while he's on board, this is just an 11 cost character. So black decks and blue decks, unless blue has red rock or unless black has a lot of cost reduction, this is going to be really hard to remove, especially if you just played it on curve on 7 Dawn. Then it's going to read activate main. You can put this character into rest mode and then draw 1 card and discard 1 card from your hand. So immediate cycle. And then after that, you can KO one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 3 or less. So I really do like this card. It allows you to play it, use your leader effect, and then get rid of something, which is really good. Obviously, you can do something with it on the turn you play it. Hard to remove. Only little caveat I don't like is that, if you want to use this effect, you have to rest your 8K body, where honestly, that's like a really good body that you want to attack with. So you kind of have to make a decision every turn. Do I rest Jack and KO something, or would I rather attack with Jack and put on some pressure? Makes it a little awkward, but I still think this card is good and a big threat on the board that they're probably going to need to remove, or their stuff is getting killed every single turn.
No, yeah. It just has that flexibility, right, to choose which one, like you're saying. But I think the biggest benefit is being able to use the effect as soon as you play the character, so you can, potentially kill something, draw 1, and then now on your next turn, he's actually able to swing. So it's like, you get 2 effects with 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
A nice body that's swingable for pressure, or this, apply board presence while being able to KO your opponent's board.
Right.
So a very good card. I think SR being so high cost because of that passive effect is going to be actually huge in Black Mirrors. I think this card is really good
Completely agree.
for sure.
And the alt art here, awesome, because honestly, the normal SR art kind of leaves a bit to be desired, so this one is really, really nice to see. Next up here, we've got Jinbei, is a 5/6 with no counter, and the Fishman Straw Hat Crew type. It's going to be Daunt X1 when attacking. If you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, KO one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 4 or less. So this one obviously meant to pair with the new, I think it's ST14 starter deck, the new Black Luffy. That deck, we already talked about it by now, is pretty terrible. Bunch of people were trying to tell us in the comments that it was good. It's been, I think, about a month, maybe a little more now, and not one has topped. So, surprise, surprise, we were right. The deck's bad, and I think this card is bad as well.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Next up here, we've got Jin Rummy.
Move forward for sure.
Yeah. Next up here, we got Jim Rummy is a 2/3 with 1000 counter and the Beast Pirates and Smile type. It's going to be on play. If your opponent has a 0 cost character, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Another card that I think is just filler, not really good. Sure, we can get something to 0 and then cycle 2 for, is that even good? Even if this card was a 2/3 that said draw 2, discard 2, this card would still not be good. I think Black literally has that. Black Moria has the Inupe. It literally does that without a stipulation. Yeah. So
this card is bad, which is real bad.
Yeah, and that one's not even run, so extra, why would we play this? Alright, next up here we've got Scratchman Apu is a 4/5 with 1000 counter and the Beast Pirates and On Air Pirates type. It's going to be a blocker, so 4/5 blocker, love to see that. It's going to be activate main once per turn, up to one of your opponent's characters loses 1 cost for the turn. So it's a 4/5 blocker that has a repeatable -1 cost effect. Not bad. I'll say that. It is not bad. You can bring it out off, say, Moria. It's not a bad target for that, especially if you have a lower cost option to KO something afterwards. But, how good is this? Are we playing this? How tight is the deck? I don't know. It is searchable, so I could see us running this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a 4/5, which honestly has an easy time getting removed by other decks, especially RP Law in this meta. So will this stick? Maybe you can get the effect off, the turn you play it, but then that means you have to combo with it. And so I personally don't think that this will see much play just because it's a high cost card for not much gain.
Yeah, I think I agree.
It's like basically playing a 4/5 vanilla.
Sure. I mean, it's going to get removed a lot of the time before it does anything as well, which kind of sucks. But I think generically decent, so we'll have to see. Next up here, we've got Duval is a 1/2 2K counter with the Flying Fish Riders. That is not searchable, so in order for this card to be played, it's going to have a pretty good effect. It's going to be on play. Up to one of your characters gains +1 cost till the end of your opponent's next turn. And survey says this card is trash, so I don't think you're going to play this card.
Yeah, no, heck no. We can skip it.
Yeah, nope. Next up here, we've got Basil Hawkins is a 7/9 with 1000 counter, the Hawkins Pirates and Beast Pirates type. So these 7/9 vanillas are pretty solid. 9K body obviously is very strong, and the 7 cost. 7 cost is actually not easy to remove. But I struggle to see what deck we're playing this in. Maybe we're playing this in King if we're playing Onigashima, for a big target. But I think we could do just so much more, playing Jack and other cards like that we really wouldn't play this, even though it's searchable.
No, yeah, I would agree with you. 7/9 body is always nice, but it's a lot of non-commitment, especially on combo decks like Black, where you can have a very more powerful turn than just playing a high cost vanilla.
Yeah, definitely not the type of deck, at least for King, that I think would run this card. Next up here, we've got Hamlet. Is a 3/4, 1000 counter, 100 Beast Pirates and Smile type. It's going to be on play. You can play up to one character card with the Smile type and a cost of 2 or less from your trash. I literally can't think of a good smile card off the top of my head, much less so one that's only 2 cost. Um, so for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and say this card sucks.
Yeah, F tier. Probably won't ever see it.
Yeah, we got another filler card for that, but this one, not a filler card. This is a very strong 5/5 with 2k counter, Beast Pirates, and the former CP9 type. This is going to be on play. You can discard 1 card from your hand and KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. And it's going to be trigger. You can KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. So,
Yeah, very good. Very.
this card's really good. Obviously, it's searchable in our new King deck, but I didn't even think, this is the first time I'm realizing, this is searchable in Rob Lucci. It has CP in its types, which means Spandam can search this. And you're already running the 4-cost Kaku, which I think is really good, but you might want to run this instead in that deck. Just a 5/5 that can KO to 3 is really flexible with a good trigger. This card is really fantastic, actually. And I could definitely see this being
And
run.
on top of that, it's a 2K, right? So
Yeah, exactly, right? Searchable 2K with a playable effect. So I could see you running this in King, and I could even more so seeing you running this in Lucci.
definitely one of those 2K counters that have, can potentially have game-changing effects, right? So kind of like a Perona, right? Perona is just so
Yeah.
useful, even though it's a 2K.
Yeah.
It's just like that they give that card everything. So it reminds me of that, where it's like it can have an effect that's really going to swing the game, but it's also a 2K.
Yep, for sure. One of the most playable 2Ks in the game. We actually already talked about this page 1, so let's go on to the next one. We have X-Drake here is a 4/6 with no counter, and Navy, Drake Pirates, and Beast Pirates type. So very searchable card here. This one is going to be a 4/6. Only with Dawn X1, this character gets +2 cost. Okay, we're attaching one, we're swinging 7, which you probably already wanted to do, so that's good. This is like a 4-cost body that's playable off Moria, but honestly, we have better plays off Moria. So it's only going up to 6 costs, which is like not the most unremovable stat line in the game for sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't think this card does enough for us to ever play it.
Yeah, no, maybe if it was like +4, maybe, but +2 makes it a 6 cost. Means any black deck can go Rebecca Hina,
Yeah,
and then it's pop, right?
exactly.
Absalom Effect, raw play Lucci, and it's
Yeah.
game.
Unfortunately,
So
not the
not that
best.
good.
Yeah. And next up here, we've got Flame Emperor is a 2-cost Beast Pirates main and counter event. This one's going to be you can place 3 cards from your trash on the bottom of your deck in any order, and then KO up to one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 2 or less. So, and then the trigger, is going to be activate the main effect, but as far as this card goes, I think it's interesting. I don't know if we'd run this in King. I could see us running this in like a different deck, maybe like an event KO focused deck. I don't think those exist yet, but maybe in the future this could be ran in that. But I just don't think this is getting you enough value in King. There's a lot better options to KO stuff. And the counter KO doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I don't know why we'd leave 2 Dawn up to counter and use this when we could, on our turn, cost reduce things and then use this on main. So I think this having counter is pretty pointless. But, the main effect is like semi-playable.
Yeah, semi-playable, but is any black deck gonna have space to run a card like this? Where, black is such a powerful color where you could probably slot this in or slot this out for so much more better card.
Yeah. Next up here we've got Iron Block Fang Flash is a 2-cost Beast Pirates and former CP9 event. So another card that's going to be playable in Rob Lucci and our new King deck. This is going to be main if you have 10 or more cards in your trash. Up to one of your characters gets plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's turn. Then trigger, up to one of your leader characters gets plus 2k power for the turn. That's a pretty good trigger. But
yeah, trigger's pretty good.
The main effect though, like we're paying 2 for 2k power for 2 turns. Like maybe if this was on a leader, I'd be like, wow, that's really strong. But this is only characters that can just be removed by other effects. So No, this card isn't good enough to be ran, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, taking up a whole slot in the deck just for a, semi decent effect at best. Yeah, definitely don't run it.
And next up here, we've got People's Dreams Never End. Really awesome that they adapted this fantastic moment in the manga, but it's going to be a one-cost Blackbeard Pirates event. Maybe a hint that the Blackbeard pirate leader that is definitely confirmed for OP09 will be black, but we'll see about that. This is going to be counter. You can place the top card of your deck into the trash. If the place card has a cost of 6 or more, up to one of your leader or characters gets 5,000 power during this battle. And then the trigger is going to be place one black character card with the cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand. So, this is a 1 for 5k counter power, which I think is the most we've ever seen. But at least in decks that exist, yeah, it has to be a 6 or more character. No, sorry, it just has to be a cost 6 or more anything card. So at least in the decks that exist right now, I don't think you're playing this. Maybe like I said, if there is a Blackbeard leader that's maybe based around playing really high cost stuff, I could see us running this. But right now, I'm gonna say no go.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a very powerful card, but as soon as you don't see that 6 drop, it's just a dead card. You just wasted neg 1 from hand. You left the Dawn up on your turn.
Yeah.
What do you do? You know?
Exactly.
You lose the game. So, yeah, I don't think you ever want to risk it. You got to have, that secure counter. If not, it's probably not worth running.
Yeah, I could agree with that. And next up here, we've got Heliceratops is a 3-cost Beast Pirates Black event. It's going to be main. If your leader has the Beast Pirates type, up to one of your opponent's characters will have their cost reduced by 2 for the turn. Then after that, you can KO one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 0. And then trigger, up to one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 3 or less is going to be KO'd. So, 3 Dawn to -2 cost and KO is 0. Pretty bad, I think. You can almost treat it like a 3-cost KO at 2, which, we just looked at a 2-cost that KOs at 2. This one, though, has the flexibility that you can treat it as a minus instead of just a KO. But definitely not worth one more Dawn. No way. Yeah, this card's bad.
Yeah, really bad. I mean, 3 Dawn to get -2, like you're not even being Dawn efficient at that point, so definitely a filler event here.
Yeah, for sure. And we do get the Toshigi SP this set, but that's a fantastic art, but that is going to be the end of our cards.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching all of the black cards that we just went over for OP08. Definitely a lot of cool cards that, I'm waiting to try out. I know Jim is super excited to try some of these out, so, we're very excited for OP08 to come out, as well as OP07 that we're on the brink of getting. So, a lot of good things coming. But we have one more color left, so thank you guys so much for watching this video and getting to the end. I will see you guys on the next one, so make sure to like this video, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.